Thanks so much for joining us here on the Monsters in the Morning on Comcast SportsNet. Dan Jiggetts here alongside my partner Mike North, and he is back for his weekly visit with the Monsters. He is John Crist, the publisher of Bear Report magazine.
What's up, John?
Hey, John.
I'm doing great. I'm finally rested being on the set, and like the Bears, I'm looking forward to the bye.
Yeah, I'm not a bye-week guy. As sports czar of the Obama administration, I would like to. I'm asking the National Football League to figure out something else, because when you got a city, the National Football League. While Jacksonville's playing, we're going to be off. They can't even fill up their stadium.
No.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do about it. I don't want them to add games, but we'll see what happens. But you like the bye for the guys that are working.
I think you have to have the bye these days because of just the physical toll that these players are taking week in and week out.
So you're going to add 2 more games, hopefully, for the regular season?
I'm not an advocate of the 18 games.
I haven't found an advocate.
No. 16 is perfectly fine. 16 is the way to go.
Here's what you do. You take away the bye week. You take away maybe the week in between.
Right.
I know they have
Get
a
the
thousand reasons for doing it.
Right.
Between the Super Bowl, the conference championship and the Super Bowl. But they said because everybody has to get room set up and all that kind of thing. But here's what you do. Maybe you got 53 guys on the roster. Dress all 53.
Yeah.
Why is it down to 45 in the quarterback?
I don't get it.
That's something that's been talked about for
It makes
quite some
no
time.
sense.
You're still paying them.
Right.
Yeah.
You're still paying
It
them.
makes no sense at all.
Especially because the game has become all the more specialized than it used to be. You've got, some teams have kicking specialists. Some guys are just, nickelbacks. Some guys are just return specialists. The roster is not as flexible as it used to be. So I would be an advocate of dressing more guys on game day. That'd be perfectly fine. And that way you can maybe cut down on the injuries.
Right. Maybe they're afraid they're going to run out of uniforms or something. I don't know.
I don't think you have
We can't make Tony Method's job any harder.
You
Come
have
on.
53 guys on the roster, but you don't dress them all. I don't get it.
It's ridiculous.
But
Hey, a couple things that bothered me in the first half of the game.
Sure.
One of them was some penalties in key situations.
Yeah.
Kept drives going for Detroit.
Right.
And I didn't like the fact that Detroit had, one of 90-some yards and one of 70-some yards.
Yeah.
What did the defense do differently in the second half that they didn't do in that first
Well,
half?
I think Lovie Smith and company really need to get a lot of credit because one of the criticisms of this team the last couple of years is that they're not making adjustments in the locker room at halftime, but this is a prime example of a game where they did change things up on defense. If you really look at the tape, they were doing a lot of cover one, which is just a single high safety, which left a lot of one-on-one looks for Calvin Johnson. I think Zach Bowman learned the hard way how good Calvin Johnson is. That guy's absolutely a beast. But in the second half, they changed things up. They did a lot more of the natural cover two. You had 2 safeties, so it was harder to get the ball down the field. And I think Johnson had 5 catches for $119 in the first half, just 1 catch for 14 yards in the second half, and that gave him a chance to help shut down the run game and ramp up
And
the
they could
pass
pin their
game.
ears back once they got the lead.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And the difference in the first half, they were coming with blitzes.
Right.
And Stafford, to his credit, was reading
I
to
was
get
very
rid of the
impressed.
football.
Yes.
The second half, they rushed a lot of the 4 up front. Maybe every now and then throwing in one linebacker, but still they were getting the pressure from the front 4. And then then you look at your defensive backs, and they're able to cover them, and they've got some help deep.
Yeah, for the most part, the cover 2, in its essence, is not really an attacking style defense. It's more of a bend but don't break type of approach.
We found that out against Atlanta.
Right, we found that out the hard way a couple times,
Right.
but it's a defense that is designed to play with the lead. If you can get up a score or 2, that way you can rush for the defensive ends can, as you said, pin their ears back, go for the quarterback, and you can handle those 5, 6, 7-yard completions over the middle, and you never give up the deep stuff. So that's the reason why Lovie's been so disappointed. They've been getting off to such slow starts because if this team can get a lead with Jay Cutler, then he can really play the defense.
And the defense can play looser too. If
Sure.
it's 21-21, then they're a little bit back in the field. Avalava and Zach Bowman had horrendous beginnings. They straightened out in the second half. I thought Alex Brown got hit with a face mask early. You're right, Dan. The penalties, we've overcome.
That was a bad call on Alex, too. That was really
There were a lot of bad calls in the NFL yesterday, but we overcame.
Right. But when you start thinking about, that kind of call in that critical situation, that was a horrendous call to make, and it's too bad they can't review some of those to figure out what.
I was looking for that.
Yeah.
I was looking for maybe if it's questionable. And the head-to-head, if they're going to call that, then the coaches should be allowed. And once they look up at the board,
Yeah.
I mean, the refs looking up at the board, seeing no head-to-head contact.
If I have-
looking at it and going, man, I missed that one.
Yeah.
If I have my brothers, they have got to start reviewing the late hits on the quarterbacks. It's got
it's ridiculous.
It cost the Ravens the game yesterday because if that's not Tom Brady playing quarterback,
You got that right.
those calls are not made.
Guys,
those are not
let's
being
get
made.
this thing straight once and for all. You can't touch Tom Brady.
Oh,
Everybody
come
knows
on.
that.
You can't.
It's American.
Why,
Everybody knows that.
My guy JT, I'm listening to JT the Brick at Fox Sports. He goes, but if you lose Brady, I mean, what do you got?
The National Football League.
Yeah.
Well, he's a position player, but Matt Castle came in and did great last year.
Yeah.
You think he throws a flag if Giselle hits him late? I don't think so.
I'll tell you, you're right, though. There were a lot of but Brady started crying.
Yeah,
Brady
he did.
doing
Yes,
this.
he's calling for the
Which
flag.
I was shocked by.
You know, sometimes they ought to turn around and throw the flag on them for doing that.
Might as well.
Yeah,
but that's the
absolutely.
one rule I would love to see changed. I don't think it's going to be changed because the NFL knows that the quarterbacks are the bread and butter.
And that's a lot of money
Yes,
at that
it is.
position. Hey, following the beatdown of the Lions, the Bears sounded like a team willing to not get too far out in front of themselves because they know there's still a lot of work left to be done.
It's huge. It's huge. There's nothing worse than going into a bye week off a nail. You gotta wait that extra time to play again, and it just sits there in the back of your mind, wishing you had that one. We needed to finish this first quarter of games off well after the rough start we had, to win 3 straight, win a division game at home, and go into our bye. It's huge for us. We just need to heal up. Go back and look at some past games and see what we've been doing really good and struggling at it and work on it.
We're going to be happy about that, but if you want to be cynical, you can say, we're a couple plays away from being maybe, 1-3. So we got to look at it from both sides of the spectrum. We've got to get better in this bye week. We're going to get healthier. That's the key. First quarter, we're 3-1, which is very, very big, so we're happy about that. We just got 2 division conference wins in a row. We're on a little bit of a streak now, so it's not bad.
I really don't care about critics. I mean, I know what the running game can do. I know what our team is capable of. So, I was glad that it happened, and I know that we can do even better than that. In the games to come.
And, in reference to the critics about the run game, I don't think the criticism was so much directed at Matt Forte
No,
as it was the offensive line. And I just wanted to get to that one before we go to break. What did you guys notice differently about the offensive line in this game, in particular in the second half?
When they ran against, Detroit had been stopping the run. Had they not given up big yardage?
They've had trouble stopping the pass. The run defense is better this year.
The pass, they were giving up over 300 yards a game.
A lot.
You know what? The Bears, I give them credit. I give Jay Cutler credit. He played a managing game yesterday, and it always helps when you have 6 of your 13 possessions on the other in their territory.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can talk all you want about offense and defense, but special teams won.
Oh,
this
yeah,
game.
the special teams are
The
great.
Johnny Knox return really got the game going, but really look inside the numbers. Robbie Gould, first time he ever hits a 50-plus yard field goal.
Good
Brad
for him.
Maynard, if you look at the stat sheet,
punting.
he had 4 punts for a 38-yard average, but all 4 inside the 20. None of them were returned, and one of them was angled beautifully at the 2-yard line. The coverage units were fantastic. Devin Hester goes down, yet Earl Bennett comes in. He has a good return. Daniel Manning comes in. He gets a good return. It was all about the special teams, and that was the difference yesterday.
And then that's where, the kids, especially the receiving group, sometimes, if you're not getting the ball thrown your way or whatever, you can have an impact, a huge impact right there on special
Johnny
teams.
Knox had been close a couple times.
Do you
It's a
think
matter
they'll take
of time.
him off now because he's a good receiver? You think they'll take him off the special teams?
If he has to start at wide
Isn't it
receiver
odd?
at Devin Hester, maybe they have to.
Devin Hester, who would have thought he could get her playing receiver?
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, see, he's always been kickoff, he's been on kickoff returns before, even while he was, playing a lot. The thing is, I don't think
this guy like he's a 15-year veteran, He's a youngster, man.
I don't think you're going to see him on punt returns.
No. Naturally, he's a punt returner. Kickoff returns was always something that wasn't necessarily his bona fide strengths. But punt returns is what he really wanted to do. But I think, if Devin Hester wants to be a 1,000-yard receiver in this league, and you're convinced he is your number one, I would be perfectly fine taking him off special teams. I know that sounds sacrilegious with what this guy did the first couple of years, but there's no such thing as a 1,000-yard receiver and a 2-phase return.
He's got just a sprained neck from what we're understanding.
He should be okay. With the bye week is coming at a good time, even though it's early.
Can we wait until the 1,000-yard receiver thing happens?
There's a while to
In
go.
the meantime, leave him on the special teams.
They're expecting him to be one, but there's a way to go.
We'll see on that.
Yeah.
I know he can run back kicks. I know that for sure.
We can do that.
We're going to break here on the Monsters in the Morning. Then Jim's going to get us caught up with weather and traffic, and then we'll be right back with John Crist as well.